He releases them from their heavy burdens of Allah's covenant and from the fetters binding that were upon them. Some eminent Western writers, such as Kersey Meyerson, Alexis Carlyle, and Dale Carnegie, readily admit that the savior of the material-minded declining West is a belief in Allah. They propound the view that the reason behind the increasingly alarming phenomenon of suicide in the West is atheism and a lack of faith in Allah, Lord of all that exists. Those who wander astray from the path of Allah shall have a severe torment because they forgot the day of reckoning. And whoever assigns partners to Allah, it is as if he had fallen from the sky and the birds had snatched him, or the wind had thrown him to a far-off place. In a 1994 edition of Ashar, an interview with President George Bush's wife was printed. In it, she admits to having made more than one attempt at suicide. One attempt was made by the method of choking herself, and another was to drive a car over a cliff. Was at the Battle of Uhud, fighting on the side of the Muslims. He fought intrepidly and fiercely. The people exclaimed, "For him is the bliss of paradise." The Prophet said, "Verily, he is from the dwellers of the fire." Why? Because when his wounds were serious, instead of being patient, he took his own life with his sword. Those whose efforts have been wasted in this life, while they thought that they were acquiring good by their deeds, but whosoever turns away from my reminder neither believes in this Quran nor acts on its orders, verily for him is a life of hardship, and we shall raise him up blind on the day of resurrection. A Muslim does not take the path of suicide, no matter how severe the hardship. 2 units of prayer that are performed with humility and presence of mind after making ablution will guarantee the banishment of anxiety and worry from your life. So bear patiently what they say and glorify the praises of your Lord before the rising of the sun and before its setting, and during some of the hours of the night and at the size of the day, an indication for the 5 compulsory congregational prayers, that you may become pleased with the reward which Allah shall give you. In the Quran there is a cogent and powerful question for the misguided ones. What is the matter with them that they believe not? What is it that makes them swerve away from belief while the proofs and signs are clear? We will show them our signs in the universe and in their own selves until it becomes manifest to them that this, the Quran, is the truth. And whosoever submits his face himself to Allah while he is a good doer, then he has grasped the most trustworthy handhold. None has the right to be worshipped except Allah. Even the disbelievers are at different levels. In George Bush's memoirs, moving ahead, he mentioned that he had attended the funeral of Brezhnev. The president of the Soviet Union, Bush, said, "I found the funeral to be dark and morbid. It was devoid of faith and spirit." He said this because he is Christian and they are atheists. And you will find the dearest in love to the believers. Muslims, those who say we are Christians. Observe that although he is misguided, he was able to discern their falsehood. Thus the matter becomes relative. How matters would have been different had he known Islam, the true religion of Allah. And whoever seeks a religion other than Islam, it will never be accepted of him. And in the hereafter he will be one of the losers. This incident brought to my mind a saying of Ibn Taymiyyah. He was speaking to a member of Deviant Sufi sect. The man said to Ibn Taymiyyah, "Why is it that when we come to you, the people of the Sunnah, our miracles lose their effect and become useless? But when we go to the Mongolian disbelieving Tatars, our miracles work. Do you know what the example of you, the Tatars, are and us is? As for us, we are white horses. You are spotted horses, and the Tatars are black ones. When the spotted ones enters upon a throng of black, he appears to be white, and when he enters upon a crowd of white, he appears to be black. Now you have some remnants of light. And when you mix with the people of disbelief, the light becomes visible, but when you come to us, the people of the Sunnah, who have the greater light, your blackness and darkness is all that is left for you. And this is the example of you, the Tatars, and us. And for those whose faces will become white, they will be in Allah's mercy, paradise. Therein they shall dwell forever."